So here's the full videos on the channel. We just
we won't tell you a secret.
Quick, like this guy right here, man. This guy was selling. This guy makes this stuff at home. Comes there, sells these helmets. Look at that Wolverine at the bottom of your screen. I don't know if you can see that right there, but look at that Wolverine right there. Oh my God, it's just such great stuff. That's my beautiful intro. There, look at me wearing shorts. It was hot. See, okay, now look at that. It was packed, and I think the reason why it was packed because they weren't using all the space, which I think is my only complaint. Behind me, behind the camera, it was like a divider, and then there was all cafeteria tables. Like there was more. I think there was more tables and chairs set up behind this wall than there was vendors. I don't know. Maybe they couldn't afford to rent the whole space. Maybe they don't. I don't know. But because it was all, we were all bunched up like ants. But like I said, though, man, the stuff they had. I mean, cosplayers, all you cosplayers out there, great job. Great job. Even Sunday, man, they had some amazing people from the minute it opened up. The minute I pulled up, the car next to us had like 5 people all getting dressed up, and the car behind us had a whole bunch of Mandalorians. So if you cosplayed there, man, great job. Great job. They had Lou Diamond Phillips was one of the hosts, one of the guests. Alan Tudyk canceled, unfortunately. Okay, look, like this lady came here all the way from Kentucky. Let's see what she
got the what do you call it? The energy? No fear, baby. No pain, no gain.
No pain, no gain. I was asking, I was like, she's supporting the cosplayers. They're cosplayers, a family member.
No
pain, no gain, right?
And they're like supporting that, their relative is cosplaying. I'm like, how do they survive in that heat? And she's like, no pain, no gain, baby. Yeah, I couldn't do it. I had an extra shirt over my t-shirt and I couldn't handle it. I couldn't even imagine dressed up like anything, wearing a mask or look at that. Look at this guy. Yeah. So like I said, man, it's a really good introduction. And you can see in the background, you have people selling their artwork. So it's a good vibe, man. It's a good vibe. And I really do like these. I'm just going to call them comic conventions. I do like these pop culture comic book conventions because everybody's got the same, everybody's in a good mood, The only people who aren't in a good mood are the people that buy stuff, get it autographed, and go to eBay to sell it right away. But everybody's got their thing. Yeah, and they came all the way from Kentucky.
With the fans, that's what matters the most.
Are you local from here, Virginia Beach?
We are not. We're from Kentucky.
Oh, wow. Are you here just for this?
For the fans.
Oh, nice. Awesome. Look at us all the way from Kentucky. Thank you.
Yeah, it's just amazing. Hey, folks, you're watching 757 Hustle Show. We got somebody backstage. First time here. New friend of ours. We don't owe him money yet, so that's why he's still a friend of ours. My man, Angel. Hold on. Let's see if I say that. There you go, brother. Hey, brother, can you hear me?
What's going on?
Hey, man, welcome. Hey, this is Angel, man. Follow him on Instagram. Angel, I'm going to put you on the full screen. Just introduce yourself real quick and where you're at.
Yeah, you got it. How's everybody doing? My name is Angel Hunter 78. On Whatnot, I am Angel Hunter 78. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's going to be Angel Vargas 78. So you can see all the stuff that I do, stuff that I post, new pickups, when the show starts, so much more. So I go by 2 names. Remember, Angel Vargas 78 on Instagram, and follow me on Whatnot tomorrow night as Angel Hunter 78, guys, 8 p.m. Great giveaways, great buys giveaways, and so much more. It's a great show. So, George, I heard you were at this. So here's the thing. I was stuck. I wanted to go to that show, but also it was Garden Fest that same week that you were there. And then I wanted to go, but then I had to get the car into the shop because I needed new tires.
Yo, my car, we got back, and my car is doing all crazy sorts of stuff. I am so lucky that that we made it back. My car is like ringing and dinging and leaking colors I've never seen come out of a car before. I don't know what Ricky did. My cousin Ricky did in the back seat. The seatbelt is busted. I don't know what was going on. And I'll tell you real quick, for those who don't know, I drove down with my cousins. We drove down with cousin Nick, cousin Ricky, and it was a 5-hour drive from here in Virginia Beach. and cousin Ricky was in the back seat the whole time conducting business on his phone. So there was nonstop, like sell, buy. What's for dinner? Oh, I'm not going to be home. I'm like, dude, come on, man. I couldn't even hear the radio. But that weekend was crazy. And I know you're a comic book guy, right? Comic books is your thing, right?
Huge. I just got this in today. So yesterday I got 3 teeth pulled out. 2 here, 1 here.
Wow.
So it feels like a job. But what made my days, this came in. Signed by Kevin Eastman, 9.9 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle number 5.
Nice. Teenage Mutant Ninja
This
Turtles.
made my day. So I have a goal in mind. I want to get, he did number 1 already. So I want to do 2 more Turtles, a Shredder. Yeah, 2 more Turtles, a Shredder, Splinter, April, and a Casey. So I have all, and Rocksteady and Bebop. So 1 through 10 is going to be all done by Kevin Eastman with a sketch.
Nice. They're both still alive, right? Both those guys?
Yep.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
Did one sell his whole share, or both of them sold it, like to Nickelodeon, or did they have
one did, and then they both decided to do it, and then they were advisors for the show, and he took a back seat, and they did other things, and then as things progressed going along, they asked them to come back to be kind of like advisors. So they don't have majority of the turtles, but they have some.
Yeah, but Nickelodeon, I think, owns them mostly, right? Outright. I think Nickelodeon owns them. Yeah. I've always been a fan. I think Ninja Turtles is so underrated. I always think it's like, like either DC or Marvel, and then Ninja Turtles is like the third iteration of a universe.
Yeah, because they just did a series with Naruto.
Oh,
the comic book series.
Yeah. You know what? I need to catch up. I was reading Ninja Turtles and the Masters of the Universe crossover that was going on.
I had that. That was a great storyline.
Yeah. So I got to finish that up. So I mean, definitely that. So Angel Man, real quick, let me just finish this up. So for those who don't know, I'm just telling them, if you're in Virginia Beach, definitely check out the convention. It's not as big. Are you a convention guy, Angel?
Yes, huge.
So, and I think my next convention, I think we're gonna hit the cosplay convention in Richmond, and then I think the next big one, we're not going to Raleigh this year. Usually we go to Galaxy Con.
Yeah.
King Kong. That's how big they are. I definitely want to hit New York in October. I definitely want to hit.
I already got my tickets. 4-day pass. I am ready to go.
So we definitely gonna meet up. Meet up. So
Definitely.
This was here. The local one here was cool, but the problem is they didn't use all of the space. So you can see everybody's just packed in the aisles.
And I can see the back was empty. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But it's a good introduction. Look, they had graded books. I mean,
that means it's almost near mint, right?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm messing around with people. I kept saying, I'm looking for an Action Comics #1. I got cash. Who got the book? And I was like, I ain't got that book. I'm like, next time. That's what I kept saying. You know what I'm saying?
You heard that? She's looking for an Action Comics #1 graded. No, not here. All right. Now, next time.
That's all I kept saying.
One day you're gonna find somebody like, oh yeah, I do got a grade right here. You're gonna be like, son of a.
I'm like, hold on. I got my money in my other stocks. I'll be right back. But like I said, man, if you're and look, they had a Muppet there. This guy came up to me. He had his Muppet dressed as a Ghostbuster.
I saw that on your show. Yeah.
So it was pretty cool. So he had the Muppet who's dressed as a Ghostbuster, who's dressed as the guy as Firefly, the Alan Tudyk's character.
Yeah.
So basically, that's a cross-dressing Muppet I was talking to right there. It was pretty cool. So this guy's helmets, man, amazing stuff, man. Amazing.
I saw that.
Yeah, man. And I wasn't even joking
I want that Wolverine Doom.
Yeah, when I wasn't even joking, when I saw that Dr. Doom back there, I literally called him out. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? That's like Dr. Look at that Wolverine.
Right now, he's hot.
Yeah, dude, $500, bro. I'm telling you, when you see these in front of you, they look real. I'm talking about they look like they just came off a Hollywood movie set. You know what I'm saying?
I actually own one of those masks. So you see the one where it's one horn that's on and one horn off?
Yeah.
That one was from Daredevil Reborn, where Bullseye ripped it off. I actually have that right there. So at New York Comic Con, and get Charlie, who played Daredevil, to sign that helmet.
Oh, nice. Yeah, man. We bought one. Me and cousin Ricky went to a a convention, and we bought a 3D pair of Cyclops ones. And yo, man, my man didn't even sand them down. I mean, you know what I'm saying? We were getting like there were still pieces of plastic shards sticking out. All right, we're getting shanked as we're putting them on. You know, we're on camera like pretending they're smooth. This is great quality. Meanwhile, Ricky's bleeding. But this guy's stuff was like, dude, he literally the shine. It was like just the lights were shining off of it, man. So real good stuff, man. So I that's the stuff. Look at that Wolverine, man. And that's the stuff I like. I like to see like the original artwork. You know what I'm saying? The look at this, man. Look at this. You could like feel it. You could smell the blood.
I love that. I'm telling you, that Doom Wolverine, I want it. I want that Doom Wolverine.
You know what? I'll be honest with you. I was sweaty. If I wasn't sweaty, I would have asked to put it on. But it was so hot. You know what I'm saying? It was so hot. And I was dripping, and I didn't want to, like, you know, get my
Actually,
name put in there.
you know, they're two-piece. It's a two-piece.
Probably.
They're two pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on. It's right next to me. Hold on.
Go ahead, brother. Yeah, so you're watching Self 57 Hustle Show. We're hanging out with Angel. And there's the Dr. Doom. We're just going over. We just finished up to Tidewater Comic-Con in Virginia Beach. Oh, Angel's showing. Hold up, bro. Let me put you in the full screen right here. Look at this.
So here it is. Ready? It's a two-piece. So you take this off. It feels like an Iron Man helmet. So you put it on here.
Oh, nice. Nice. Turn around. Yeah. Turn to the side. Oh, that's badass, brother. That is. And you know who you look like? You look like the Russian dude from the Thunderbolts with the beard.
Yes, I drive limo.
Yeah,
Come with me. I drive limo.
yes, with the beard.
I have you.
That's awesome. No, but badass, man. That's cool how it just hooks on like that.
It's a beautiful two-piece.
What makes it latch? What makes it latch?
So when you open up here, you can see the inside. You see the magnets?
Okay, magnets. All right.
Yep, the magnets. And what they do is they put it here, and they have them built inside. So you have some here, latch, and all you have to do is build, and it's red, so you can't see them.
Nice.
So all you do, they took the idea from an Iron Man helmet, and that was it.
And for those who know, that's Daredevil. That's Daredevil, and that's when he got his ass beat by Bullseye. So he's missing now.
Yep. And that's what. That's the one. That's the one I want him to get signed.
That's pretty cool, man. That looks pretty good. Yeah. He's usually at conventions. He was with Punisher dude.
Yep.
With John and Karen, the actress that plays Karen. They were all there. So.
Well, she's gonna be there. He's gonna be there. The woman who plays She-Hulk is gonna be there. So it's gonna be this year is gonna be huge for New York Comic Con.
Yeah, but like I said, man. Oh, I know I can catch this guy. My cousin was there with his kids, right? And he keeps telling me that George, you see Professor X? Have you seen Professor X? There was a guy in a wheelchair. My man, they said, I'm going out. I'm going to fucking cosplay. My man put on a bowl cap. and he drove around in a wheelchair. There he goes. Hold on. You see what I scream? Let me put this guy. This guy went on the whole time, and you can't see him now. Behind his wheelchair, he had like two ski poles, and he had him like an X. You know what I'm saying? So he could walk around. So I hope he was Professor X. I literally walked up to him. I was like, Professor X, yeah. And he just rolled by me.
To me, it does look like it. Yeah.
But definitely, like, here's some artwork. If you're definitely interested, it's really cool just to see the toys, the books. Look at this robot. This guy had this toy robot. Look at this. That's badass right there. Look at that.
Yeah, I saw that in the introduction. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, cosplayers everywhere. I mean, it's mad cool. It's mad cool. But that was this year here in the local Virginia Beach, Tidewater Con. Cool stuff, good people. And two things, like I said, two things I don't like about this convention. The parking sucks, like you wouldn't believe. We got there. The doors open at 10:30. We got there like at 9:30, and the parking lot was full already. Like locals here have to park at the next complex. It's called the Virginia Beach Sports Complex.
That's the way it is in Ocean City Con. That's the way it is. It gets so crowded, so they have the main parking lot there across the street. That's right there, and people have to park somewhere else.
Yeah,
parking is horrible.
But they're definitely. I love going to. Like I said, it's like shopping. People are there for different reasons: for shopping, for cosplay. So I'll tell you something real cool. I'm gonna get him on the show one day. You would appreciate this. There was my man had a picture of Batman the animated series, a big, huge picture. He had almost everybody's signature, even Bob Kane's signature on there, Paul Dini's signature, everybody who's worked on the show basically and who created Batman. He was there for Ron Perlman. Ron Perlman did Clayface voice.
Yeah.
So he was there for Ron Perlman's voice. And he was like so excited. And he was like, look at his name. But what caught my attention was the Bob Kane, the Bob Kane signature. And he was like, and his story was, Paul Dini said this is the only piece that he's ever signed that has Bob Kane's signature on it. I'm like, oh, cool. That's awesome.
Oh, wow.
Like I said, man, everybody's there for a different reason. I'm like, are you going to sell this? I'm like, no, man, I'm taking this to the grave with me. So cosplayers, definitely check it out. Tidewater Comic Con, Virginia Beach. The video's on YouTube. Good times, good times, good times. Look at that. Getting choked out by the force. Nothing like getting choked out in public. You're watching the 757 Hustle Show. My name is George. We're hanging out with Angel. We're just catching up right now. Also in the news, some sad news right now. And I'm glad Angel's here because my man knows comic books. Sad news. Jim Shooter passed away. The great Jim Shooter. I think he was 73, 70. He was in his 70s. I believe it was. Yeah, I believe it was cancer. Stand by 1 second. Let me see if I can do this.
This man, Marvel, he saved Marvel in the 80s.
That's what I say. He saved Marvel.
He saved Marvel in the 80s. Secret Wars, black costume, like Jim single-handedly in the 80s saved Marvel.
I'll even when I talk about Jim Shooter, I always tell people, who is he? I'm like, he's the second Stan Lee. So they understand, you know. And let me tell you why Jim Shooter, why he's important in my life. When first thing, which we're going to go into Superman stuff after, and we're kicking off the Superman countdown. But from Super Friends, what got me into Marvel was Marvel Secret Wars. The cover, I remember seeing the cover, it blew me away, seeing all the characters on there, and the toys. Because I was already into Super Friends, so I was already collecting the kind of superpower toys. So that's my introduction. And besides, and Spider-Man and the Amazing Friends were my gateway into Marvel. You know, and that's how I got into comic books. I was already collecting G.I. Joe comic books because of the cartoon, but I wasn't really collecting comic books per se, like Avengers, Captain America, X-Men. Whatever I saw, maybe I don't know what it was. I would just grab one because I like the covers and stuff. But G.I. Joe I was collecting regularly. But then it wasn't until Secret Wars when I started collecting. So for those who don't know, Jim Shooter was born in 1951. Real cool thing about him, he was hired when he was like 14.
14 to work for DC.
Yeah. At 14, Shooter began selling stories to DC Comics, writing for both Action Comics and Adventure Comics. Action Comics was basically Superman back in the day and all those other superheroes. And man. So my man was writing at 14. And then he went to Marvel Comics, man. And Marvel Comics, he basically took over and he created Secret Wars. He said we need to come up with a story and put everybody in there. So
so at the time it was the toy wars, they called it. DC was putting out Super Friends and stuff like that, and these big events. So Jim and the toy company were like, okay, well, we're gonna give.
He didn't know how to put out. He didn't know.
My bad.
No. I think this may be explaining it. So
go ahead. I couldn't hit the button.
No, he may explain. So Secret Wars is actually the reason why they did the comic book, because the toy was out. And Jim was like, okay, what I'm gonna do? So I'm like, I'm just gonna have to do a comic book off these toys. And that's what Secret Wars came all about.
Yeah, man. And that was, like I said, man, I clearly remember going to Long Island, New York to visit my aunt. And it was called An Odd Job, which was kind of like a Big Lots back in the day. And I clearly remember going down the aisle and she goes, pick some toys or whatever. And I picked out Falcon, who wasn't even in the book. I picked out Falcon. Captain America and freaking the Wolverine. So I remember getting those. So that was pretty cool. Hey man, you're watching 757 Hustle Show. My name is George. Let me just go through the comments real quick. I'm hanging out with my man Angel. Pierre Kelly, we are ready. Yes. Jeffrey Darcy, looky. Here comes a Wookie. Legion of Comics. What's up, George? What's up, my man? Hey, brother, if you want to jump on, Mark, it's in the links in the comments if you got time. You want to hang out? We're doing some talking about Jim Shooter, and we're gonna be doing some Superman content right after this. But
and a lot of people don't realize some of those Legion of Superheroes, those are the ideas from Jim Shooter. He created some of those characters.
Yeah.
That's huge too.
Get this back on screen. So I would say last year, I was at a con with my wife and we were going around, and then all of a sudden I saw Jim Shooter, and I was kind of like a little timid to go talk to him because my man looked scary as hell. You know what I'm saying?
Tall.
I thought he was standing. My man was sitting down. So we're walking by. Yeah. And then we're walking by him, and then also my wife's like, George, come over here. And then she's like, that's my husband right there. I'm like, oh my God, what did she do? Yo, we sat down right here with him, and I asked, hey, do you mind to record? He goes, no. He started flipping through his book. He was telling us his whole life story. I mean, like you'll see what you see on the screen. He's like, this is me at 15. We were asking him questions. You know what I'm saying? Really, really cool guy, man. Really cool. And I think it was pretty awesome that the guy was writing, like you said, Legion of Superhero stories, Supergirl stories, and Superman stories at the age of 14, 15, 16.
Yeah.
You know? I couldn't even remember anything I wrote at 14 that wasn't more than a paragraph for homework. You know? Yeah. So rest in peace, Jim Shooter, man. Really talent. The guy there he is with Stan Lee on the screen. Like I said, to me, he'll always be the second Stan Lee. You know, he's got a lot of history, just like every legend. Every legend, people are gonna have different stories about him. It is what it is. But rest in peace to my man Jim Shooter. Great interview. Oh, I'll tell you the last thing I told you. So my wife is recording. We told Jim Shooter, hey Jim, Mr. Shooter, thank you so much. It was great meeting you, whatever. And then we walked away. And then I was like, wait a minute. Look, it's right there on the screen. And I was like, wait a minute. I gotta ask you something. And we came back to the table. When he was the first person to write the first time the Flash raced Superman, Jim Shooter wrote the story. So I asked him, I said, hey, Mr. Shooter, you wrote the story the first time the Flash raced Superman. It ended up as a tie. Rumor has it that the company wanted it as a tie. They couldn't even have Superman lose. Who officially should have won that race? And he looked at us and he said, of course Flash should have won. That's his only damn superpower.
Yeah. The guy he couldn't go back in time.
And then we walk away, and I told my wife, oh, please tell me we recorded that. She goes, no, I stopped recording when you said goodbye the first time. Like, oh, no. Oh, no.
You're fired.
Yeah, you're fired. Yeah. Rest in peace, Big Jim. Thank you. Thank you for the stories, and thank you for sharing your time. So you're watching the 757 Hustle Show. My name is George. We're hanging out here. We're about to kick off our Superman countdown. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Hey, have you watched Ironheart?
Yes.
You watch Ironheart?
The third episode shocked me because I'm like, that kid that she kept going to at the house and had all this kind of stuff, and he was very quiet. And then at the end, when you see the bag that fell with the ashes, it said Obadiah. I'm like, oh, that's his kid. That's what I think just took it from me.
Yeah, I didn't think I was gonna like the show. I didn't think I was gonna like it.
I like it. I like it.
I'm digging it. You know what I think the show reminds me of? I'm gonna be honest with you right now. It gives me Static Shock vibes.
See,
you ever watch the cartoon Static Shock?
It gives me Static Shock, but Power Man combined.
It's the music. It's the more upbeat music. Yeah.
And I like how they're interacting with today's music, and it's not like a big, like you see some superheroes like tech this and expensive apartments to do that. No, really set in the streets of Chicago. So it can be. So I like that it's gonna want to be relatable to the kids who are not, like myself growing up. You know what I mean? Like that area, I grew up in those areas. You know what I mean? So it's
That's what.
nice.
Yes, I like seeing it. I like seeing it when it's filmed in the streets and everything. Like Daredevil, they keep saying Hell's Kitchen. I mean, I used to hang out a couple blocks up from there when my boy used to get off of work from Times Square, and we used to go up there and So I like seeing the stuff like where I grew up. I like seeing I like hearing, people speak like the way I speak, the way my parents speak, the way my neighbors spoke. Not everybody speaks proper English in the MCU. There's
Yeah, and I
sometimes,
like that.
yeah. So we're gonna take a quick look. For those who don't know, basically, Ironheart is basically a female Iron Man, almost. You know what I'm saying? So just for the quick version, she was in Wakanda Forever, which I happened to watch again. Yo, bro, I was so tired from this weekend. I was so tired. I couldn't even go on Razor. I was so exhausted. I had no voice. My body was beat up. And then Sunday, all I did was just watch the 3 episodes and Wakanda Forever right afterwards. But so no spoilers. This takes place after Wakanda Forever. My girl Riri right here, she gets kicked out of school for selling homework and stuff like that. She's trying to make money. She's trying to make her own AI. She's trying to make her own Jarvis, basically, to power her suit, and she needs one. So she gets kicked out of school because she's selling people. She's doing homework for stuff and people, and she gets kicked out. She hooks up with the Hood. My man, I forgot my man's name.
Hood?
Yeah. The actor that plays him, I forgot my man's name. But anyway, he's from Transformers. He's from up in the Bronx, and from Fort Washington, that movie. And she ends up working for him. So, and that's where it starts, man. There's some creepy supernatural stuff going on. Spoilers. Yeah, I didn't think they're gonna go into that. We got technology and we have supernatural stuff. There he is right there on the screen. So he's really like a new character. Anthony, there you go. Anthony, how do you say it? Ramos? Ramos. Anthony Ramos. Yeah. So I'm digging it, man. I'm digging it so far. I like what's going on. They could beef up the acting a little bit, but I'm digging the story. The story is what got me hooked. So, the first 3 episodes premiered on Disney Plus. We got the next 3, I think, drop. Disney does theirs Wednesday. So, there you go. Ironheart. So far, it gets a thumbs up from me. I like it. Not their best, and I'm going to be honest with you. If you don't like Static Shock, you're not going to like this. That's all I can say. If you don't like hip hop, if you don't like the urban vibe, don't stream, don't watch it. I'll save you the frustration from going on and typing WOKE. Yeah, there's a dude that wears makeup in the gang. Whoopity doo.
Yeah.
It don't bother me.
No big deal.
Yeah, no big deal. But definitely, it's look, there's stuff going on here, and I hope it doesn't. Sometimes that happens with the MCU.
I like I said, I'm enjoying it. I'm really, really enjoying it.
Yeah, Ironheart on Disney Plus. Yeah, sometimes these shows, man, that they look great in the trailer, they take off good, and then all of a sudden their landing is like, oh, they went that way.
Not
yeah,
perfect.
but there you go.
Like,
that's Ironheart.
Like I'm gonna admit, I'm gonna be the first one to admit it. Now, I love Power Man and Iron Fist. I have the entire series. I'm about maybe like 8 issues away from collecting the whole thing. But that Iron Fist series was very weak. And I was like, I understand why you cut the plug on that one. And I will have to agree with the executive too. Yeah.
And didn't Luke Cage have 2 seasons?
2 seasons. Yeah. And then but it was actually a better show than Iron Fist. So
yes, I agree with you.
They're trying to experiment the whole new Defenders. That's what the talks is going about now.
Wasn't it in Iron Fist, my man, the main actor, what was it, Danny Red, Danny something? Wasn't him the dude always saying his line, I'm the protector of Kwang, like he always kept saying his thing over and over. And getting his ass kicked almost the whole series, he got his ass kicked almost the whole time. Didn't security guards threw him out of the building in the first episode? I'm like, come on.
I was like, you had the most. You're the master of next to Sean Ching, you're like the next great martial art expert. You should have just flicked them off like that. But instead, it's like I didn't like it because everybody was just picking on him and he was just allowing it. And I'm like, no. If you read the comics, I see why it failed.
Yeah. You're watching 757 Show. My name is George. It is almost 6:45 here in the East Coast. It is July 1st, 2025. If you're here live, thank you very much. If you're watching us on a replay, thank you again for stopping by. Remember, it's free to hit like and subscribe. Check out Angel Hunter at IG, Instagram, and whatnot. My man's selling books. What's your day you go on, Angel?
Tomorrow night at 8 p.m.
Tomorrow night.
And I have some. Man, I got some great stuff.
Are you gonna wear?
I don't want to give it away, but there's some really good stuff.
Okay, let me ask you this: will you be wearing the Daredevil helmet while selling comic books?
I'll do it during the Bob's giveaway. Every time I do a Bob's giveaway, I wear the helmet.
With the helmet?
Mm-hmm.
My man is giving 110%. Crazy night the other night at Razor, huh?
Man, it was something. It was something. Yeah, but
I'm not gonna go into. I'm just gonna tell you this. I fell asleep. I spoke to Razor yesterday. I fell asleep with my earbuds in at the beginning of the show. I woke up at the last 20 minutes when everybody was on, and those three guys were all yelling at each other. And I'm like, is this a dream? Is this really happening? Yeah. I'm like, is this really happening? I wake up the next day. The first thing I do, I scroll right to the end. This is what's going on. Yo, so we're friends with this guy, Razor. Razor's got beef with his other channel. Angel was hopped on. Angel was hanging out with Razor that night. These guys came on. All hell broke loose. It was no hose barred. It was like old style WWF Monday Night Raw. You were like Mean Gene.
I was
Mean Gene Oakland right in the middle.
I was old Gorilla Monsoon. Could you believe that?
Yeah. And all I kept thinking was like, oh my God, Angel's like, what is going on? And after bloody hell broke down, he goes, hey, Angel, what do you have to say? Angel's like, let's just all get along. Peace and love, everybody.
It is. I mean, It's like we're all comic book fans. We're all I collect toys, statues, everything else. Like this hobby should be like together. But instead it's like everybody's like beefing.
That's crazy.
To be like the king of comics. And in reality, we're not the big king of comics. We're comic fans. The king of comics and the guys that are up there are the Stan Lees, the John Romitas, the John Juniors, everything else. All we are is the people who love them. And it shouldn't get this far.
We don't get into I don't let Razor get that drama over here, but I just had to talk to you about it real quick if they want to clip it. That shit was nuts, bro. That shit was nuts. I literally had my earbuds in and I woke up right at the end, and I think it was Razor's laugh that woke me up. You know what I'm saying? My man laughing nonstop. But yeah, check it out, Razor Comics. He's got his thing going on over there.
Yeah.
Definitely want to check it out. So
supposedly somebody is making fake emails and using his first and last name in it.
Yeah. Without going into it too much, somebody was they call them burner accounts. It's basically somebody was using making fake emails with Razor's name and then going around just posting everywhere, causing trouble, making Razor look bad. Like, really? You really need to make Razor look bad? All you gotta do is let my man live stream for 3 hours. He'll get himself into his own trouble. So, hey, you're watching 757 Hustle Show. I'm hanging out with Angel, and we'll be right back.
3, 2, 1. You're watching the 757 Hustle Show. Like and subscribe.
Pew, pew, pew.
Awesome.
And then the last big one in December is also CityCon.
Nice. You're watching 757 Hustle Show. My name is George. Angel, you a Superman fan?
Huge.
Superman.
When I was a kid, I used to I grew up in the Christopher Reeve era. So I would wear a towel and I would climb my mom's dishes and cabinets. And I would say, I'm Superman. I would fly off and some of the dishes would come down. My mom would get mad. My dad would come out of the room and he would just start laughing. He goes, he's just a kid. Let him go.
One collection down. Fable. And hey, everybody. Fable's in the comments.
Hey,
Fable.
What's up?
Feel free to jump on if you want. We're about to do some Superman stuff.
Oh, man. I'm really excited for the Superman. I can't tell you how excited I am.
Let me ask you this.
Cast.
Did you enjoy the last Superman?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I loved it. I loved Man of Steel. To me, Man of Steel was what Andor was to Star Wars. Man of Steel was to the original Superman Christopher Reeve movie. You understand what I mean? That's what Man of Steel was. It wasn't meant. Okay, it wasn't meant for kids. It wasn't meant. Sorry, but to me,
I think this one is going to be good because this one is paying homage to the '60s, which is fantastic for younger kids. And the way I think what James Gunn is going to try to do, just what Marvel did, slowly try to build the Avengers. We're slowly going to see the Justice League of America. Watch.
I'm excited, man. I'm all in. I'm just like you. I grew up. Christopher Reeve was my guy, just like 90% of us. You know, I was there for all the movies. I was doing the math too, and I had to confirm. Even though I was 3 years old, I have confirmation that I was in the theater. But my first memory of Superman in the theater was Superman 2. That's my first memory of, I think it was 1980. And I was a little bit older. So that's my first memory. And I saw the rest of them. So when Superman 3 came out, I saw it in Colombia. Now, and the reason why I'm going to bring this up is because I'll show you a toy later that I got from that year. Superman 3 came out in 1983 before Kenner's Superpower toys came out. So I was in Colombia. My grandmother, my abuelita, took me and cousin Ricky, little cousin Ricky, when Ricky was small. She took us to Bogota to the shopping center area. Imagine Times Square, but with Superman billboards everywhere, Superman posters of him and Richard Pryor, because that's Richard Pryor's in part 3. And it was I just clear as day remember, and there was merch, just the way Batman 89 Mania was all over here in the United States. That year in that city in Colombia, it was just Superman Mania. And we went in to see Superman 3. Superman 4, I saw back in New York. Superman Returns, I waited 3 hours in the Columbus Circle premiere. We had tickets to go see it at the Columbus Circle premiere in New York. We waited 3 hours, and then the movie was another 3 hours. And I'm sorry, I try to like that movie so much. I think maybe out of 3 hours, there's maybe 5 minutes of good stuff in that movie. You know what I'm saying? I like to call that one Peeping Tom Superman. And like I said earlier, Man of Steel is not meant for kids, but we finally got to see Superman throwing punches. We got to see Superman kicking ass.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Superman movies are classic. Yeah, man.
Oh, yeah.
So, and we had some TV show Supermans. We had
Tim Bruce, The Avengers of Superman.
Yes.
The cartoon series.
Yeah.
That was one. Mm-hmm.
Even the cartoon guys, the guy from Smallville, I mean, he was Superboy and then turned into Superman. I don't know if you ever watched, I loved it. In New York, it was on Channel 9 before he became No. The original Smallville, Superboy.
Oh, I remember that one. Yeah. There's actually to let everybody know, if you guys look closely in the Superboy section, there is a Superboy #1 with the photocopy from the TV show on there.
Yeah, so I found this video. This video. Okay, so we listed a bunch of Supermen, right? And there's the guy from Black and White, Alan Kirkland, and then there's George Reeves from the TV show. But this video says there was excuse me, this video says there was 20 people to play Superman. I'm like, 20? I'll go and like 6 or 7. So I'm just gonna skim through them real quick. Look at this. Look how many guys played Superman.
Yes.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, the radio shows.
12.
Back
13,
then, the radio shows.
18, 19, 20. This isn't even the radio show. This is all on film, live actors, or commercials. Commercials probably too. I guarantee not a lot of these early 70 guys are commercials and stuff. But yeah, man, these are all people to play Superman. So we're gonna go through them real quick. You can find this video on YouTube. It's Geek Watch. Thank you. So this was in 1940. This is pretty cool. Let me find the spot. So this was in the World's Fair in New York. So this is in 1940.
To portray Superman. He appeared in Superman Day, New York World's Fair newsreel, 1940.
That's pretty badass, man. I know it's color, it's old. Sorry for the crappy quality. It just came from 1940.
The golden age.
Yeah, but that's pretty badass. That 1940, they already had a guy dressed as Superman.
Ray Middleton was 33 years old when he appeared as Superman.
Look at that. That's pretty cool. Superman is one of those symbols like Coca-Cola and McDonald's. And now Starbucks is those symbols that you recognize all around the world. My mom grew up, and she told me she grew up reading Superman comic books, and she grew up reading, Mandrake the Magician and all those old school comic books. So
Yeah.
okay, so this
Superman movie.
first guy, like everybody,
Superman movie
he started doing the first movie.
serial, 1948, and Ataman vs. Superman movie serial, 1950.
Does the red shorts bother you? The red trunks? They don't bother me.
It's a different time of era too.
Yeah, I mean, I was having this conversation the other day, and I said, remember the wrestlers back in the day? That's where they get the wiggles. Why does he wear his underwear on top? Remember the wrestlers and the old weight guys from the circus? And it was just for support. It was just for support. So while they're lifting and stuff, they don't pop a testicoli and shoots out through the side. So that's why they got the trunk there, to keep everything in. Yeah, that's a true story. It's a true story.
Alan was
Angel told me.
37 years old in his first appearance as Superman.
There you go. That's the first Lex Luthor right there. That's the first Lex Luthor. I did not like
Lex Luthor, when he first appeared in DC Comics, he actually had red hair.
Yeah. I did not like speaking of red hair, the Facebook kid from the Batman vs. Superman Lex Luthor. I did not like that guy.
No, neither did I.
I think that guy would have been a great Riddler, but Lex, no, I think they missed it.
First appearance as Superman.
So you got the TV show guy.
For Superman.
Did you ever hear the George Reeves story about he almost got shot by the kid in the Superman suit?
Yes.
So
the bullets would bounce off.
So for those who don't know, the guy who played George Reeves, it's in the Ben Affleck played him in the movie, and then they shot that scene. It's based on the true story. So the guy that played Superman, George Reeves, was doing a public appearance at an area, and this little kid shows up with a revolver and wants to shoot him. It was loaded. He goes, "Oh, bullets bounce off of you, whatever." My man had to talk the kid down. He was like, "Yo, you gotta give me that gun, man. This shit's make believe, bro. This shit's make believe." That's crazy. Yeah.
And public service announcement.
And he also killed himself too. This actor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1954.
I think he's the first one that started the Superman actor curse.
And he actually made an episode as Superman in I Love Lucy.
Yes, that's true. So
Lucy was in the window, and he had to come off the edge.
Yep. I Love Lucy is canon in the Superman world. Hey, Fred.
4, and I Love Lucy TV series, 6th
There you go.
season, episode 13, 1957. Reeves was 38 years old in his first appearance
That's 38, man. That guy looks like he was like 56.
as Superman, and
The Hollywood life. Partying and
44
drinking,
years
that's
old
what
in
it
his
does to you.
last.
In New York, every Thanksgiving in New York, they would give a Superman marathon of the old TV show, and the guy that played Jimmy Olsen on this show used to host it. So I tried watching this. You know how it is when you're a kid. We didn't have internet, so we had to watch everything that was there in front of us. when it was on regular TV back in the day. So whenever this was on, like I said, I'd watch it, but I wasn't a big fan of
Superboy.
But they tried doing a Superboy TV show in the 1950s. Also, they tried doing a Superboy spinoff. And then before Christopher Reeve, I think it was just all TV commercial guys to play Superman. And I think there's a Broadway play. I think that's Steve Allen, Superman on the Steve Allen show.
And 42 years old in his last.
Oh, look at him flying off.
Aquavelva surf makes my face feel good. It's cool and refreshing, like
Superman doing an Aquavelva commercial.
a quick swim across the Atlantic. Up, and on!
6'2" Chuck Woolery is the fifth.
Chuck Woolery.
I forgot that. Yeah.
Morning sneak peek
From Love
special, 1973. Chuck.
And rumor has it, what was it that when they were casting for before Christopher? Stand by a second. I'm just gonna play this for a second. I gotta let the dog
Air
out.
Force recruiting commercial. Peter Lucas was 42 years old when he appeared as Superman. Six feet 4 inches, Denny Miller is the seventh actor to portray Superman. He appeared in the United States Air Force recruiting commercial. Denny Miller was 42 years old when he appeared as Superman.
Definitely a good idea to use Superman to recruit.
Let me play with him. Why not?
Group for the military. Now, here's our guy.
David Wilson was 26 years old. Superman, 1978. Superman 2, 1980. Superman
What a
3,
cast.
1980.
Christopher Reeve,
and
Gene
Superman
Hackman,
4,
I mean, the cast that's in there is like, man.
Yeah, man, it's good. It's good stuff. They did enough to do of drama in this movie. I'm talking about the first two movies. Not part 4 of this was just crazy. This was just them trying to make a buck. But yeah, man, those movies, the first two movies, it's got everything in it. It's got action, it's got drama, it's got blah 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 blah. But it's definitely a go-to. It's epic. It's an epic film. It's not 90 minutes of boom 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 boom. It builds a whole story. I mean, the whole first, I think, 45 minutes is Krypton or some shit like that.
To me,
Fable says young Chuck Woolery looks like Jay Leno. Yeah, man, he definitely has that look.
No, he does. To me, the most iconic scene from all the Superman is when Lois was falling from the helicopter, and I will never forget. It's the most coolest line of superhero for me in history was, "Don't worry, miss, I got you. You got me." And she looks down, "Who's got you?" And I love when the helicopter came and he has it with one hand and grab him like that. Right there is the best introduction to Superman in the movie. Yes,
yeah.
Absolutely. That there is Superman in one.
I actually like the scene that takes place right before that. He goes when he gets changed, and he goes, and then the pimp is outside.
Oh, the pimp! What's up, brother? Excuse me. Look at that.
Man, he goes, man, that's one fly suit. He goes, excuse me, and he picks up and he goes, woo! Yeah, that's my
he climbs off. I was rolling.
But if you get a chance, definitely go back and check out the Superboy show. It definitely is pretty. It's a little campy here and there.
Watch it too, yeah.
But it had some classic Superman villains like Bizarro. So it had Lex Luthor, Bizarro. Yeah, so it had some stuff in there. I never got into the Lois Superman.
I was on and off. I was on and off, and I liked it, but I didn't like it. And there were some stories that some shows that were great, and then they would have 3 great shows for me that were awesome. And then they would have the other 2 episodes are kind of like, it's kind of weak. But I still watched it every week.
Yeah, maybe it was the slick hair for me. I just couldn't get into it. Maybe he was too ethnic looking for me. I know this is wrong to say this, but he looked too Hawaiian for me because he was Hawaiian. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and I don't know. I love Terry Hatcher. I mean, yeah, it was an okay show. I caught some episodes here and there, but I just couldn't.
I loved him as Clark Kent. I absolutely loved him as Clark Kent.
Yes, maybe that was the problem. maybe I did like his Clark, and like every time they show Clark, but every time he was Superman on screen, I was just like, ugh, I just didn't.
Yeah.
It didn't do it for me. It didn't do it for me. But he's still around, man. He did. They had a bunch of seasons. So he's got his fans. And then this is crazy, man.
Tim Burton era.
This would have been nuts if this happened. I'm sorry.
Tim Burton wanted to do a Superman movie.
I can tell you right now, no way, Nick Cage. Even back then, I would have said no. And
nope.
I remember.
I'm out.
I remember before Wizard Magazine, there was another magazine called Comic Scene, and they had a picture of Christopher Reeve's body, and they put Nicolas Cage head on there, and that picture will forever be melted in my head. And I remember that Nicolas Cage planning to play Superman. I remember reading this back in the day. I was like, no way, no way, no way, no way. And then it wasn't until, I don't know if you've seen this documentary. I forgot what it's called. It's basically about how they never filmed this movie. And this footage.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
Amazing documentary. Real fun stuff. If you're a Kevin Smith fan, you're going to enjoy it even more. Definitely check that out. Yeah, Nick Cage they were in the works. They were testing out costumes. And it was in the works of Nick Cage filming a Superman movie. And they ended up doing it in The Flash.
Yeah, the TV
Flash
show
movie.
instead.
Yeah, they used some CGI. They put Nick Cage's CGI on, and they finally made him Superman. But yeah, I don't know, man. This was bad back then.
I would have been out.
He would be like an amazing Joker or something. But Superman, come on, bro. I'm like, come on.
Because this came off the press when Superman came back from the dead. And remember that long hair Superman that we all knew for a while, with the black costume.
I call it
what Tim Burton was trying to do.
Mullet Superman. Yeah, definitely not. And then which is Smallville. This guy was a great. Smallville was a great. Yeah, he got crazy. Like every TV show gets a little crazy towards the end. But definitely a great Clark Kent. Definitely a great cast. And everybody's got their own little. That's whatever. It's every Superman is their own multiverse.
Mm-hmm.
So Smallville.
I actually had the entire season of Smallville. I'm a huge fan of Smallville.
Yeah. We were going nuts. What was it, every Tuesday? Somebody save me. I remember
the multiverse to me was a great chapter, and I love whoever was the person that said we need to get closure to these Smallville fans. Thank you. Because see him wearing his father's watch.
Yeah.
And the fact that he gave up his powers, immortality, because he wanted one thing. He wanted to be a dad. And I loved it. He gave it all up to be a dad. And that was awesome.
I mean, great. And then, like I said earlier, Superman Returns. I don't like this movie. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think this movie is just missed a lot of stuff. I think there's, like I said before, it's like
I gave it a C.
I think the only thing that saves this movie is the guy that plays Superman, with Brandon Ruth, and
yep.
Yeah, I mean, granted, he's a clone of Christopher Reeve.
Yeah, he actually I enjoy, even though with the controversy, but Kevin Spacey as Lex Luthor I enjoyed. I kind of like that. The only thing I like about that movie was the one scene where he had Lois and the kid on the boat, and the kid pushed the piano against the guy and killed him. And at that moment, Kevin Smith was like, "We need to go," because that means Papa's be right behind, and that was awesome.
Good stuff.
That was awesome. He's like, "We need to go." That was good. Technically, that's the first time we actually seen a Superboy in years.
Yeah. And I so we got Mullet Superman as Nicolas Cage. I like to call this Superman Stalker Superman. He comes back. Correct me if I'm wrong. He comes back from so the movie starts off. He goes to Krypton. He comes back. I guess it's like 7 or 8 years later. He's been missing from Earth. He went to Krypton. He doesn't find nothing. He comes back to Earth, and then he starts stalking Lois. Oh, what's Lois doing? He's like a peeping Tom. But it's enough movie.
I'm sorry, George, but for a lot of people who don't know, this actually supposed to take place after Superman and Lois Lane had an affair with Christopher Reeve version, and he left. And Lois never got to tell him that he was pregnant, that she was pregnant.
Yes. Yeah, he was
So
like
if you watch that movie very closely, it gives you the hint.
yeah, he was like every illegal alien. He got the white girl pregnant and he was like, I gotta go. And I got my papers. I got my papers. It played as to the sequel to Christopher
Yeah,
Reeve.
very good. That's right, people. It did.
Yeah,
It wasn't advertised that way. That's what I tell people. You have to pay close attention to that scene where him and Lois were. That's when they were in Niagara Falls. From that to now to that movie.
Yeah. So there's no part 3. There's no Richard Pryor. There's no Superman 4. There's no Lenny, no Lex and nephew Lenny. But yeah, but like I said, he came back in the CW and replayed it. It was a good thing. But like I said, this movie only had like 3 good scenes. With the part with the machine gun, the part with the plane, and that's it. And what else do we have when he's lifting the island of Kryptonite? That's it.
Yeah,
that's the only scene. And then it's like half an hour at the end of him dying at the hospital. I'm like, come on.
But you know what's crazy? He went from Superman to becoming the Atom of Smallville.
Yeah.
He was the Atom of Smallville, which is crazy.
Yeah, the Atom.
In the multiverse.
This was good in the multiverse. Yeah, I like their little crossover they did, and I'm glad he got a chance to come back and beef it up. That was a good crossover event. I like the Flash. I like the CW. You know what I'm saying? I enjoyed what the CW did. Yeah, it wasn't that good. It wasn't perfect, but I enjoyed Legends of Superheroes, the Flash. You know what I'm saying? And Arrow. It took me a while. My friend said, George, you got to stick with Arrow. The first season, I was like, I can't take the show anymore. Second season.
Do you want to know a little secret?
Go ahead, bro.
Besides the big 3, and people are like, I can't believe you're a big fan of them. So even wife knows. Hardcore. Green Lantern, Green Arrow, and the Flash are my 3 favorites in DC. Besides the big 3, those are my 3 favorites.
You ready for the Green Lantern?
Like them books.
You ready for the Green Lantern?
I love Arrow.
Yeah. You failed this city. It took me a while. Like I said, my friend was like, George, stick with it, man. Season 2 kicks. The end of season 1 just rocks. And I said, because I can't. I'm like, this guy want to be Batman, like 100%.
Yeah. Well, that's what it was. They took the mentality of Batman from an Arrow and switched it over in season 2. Yeah, I loved it.
But he got to play Superman again.
But he looks great as an older Superman.
Yeah. I guess this is a Japanese commercial. They had somebody playing Superman for a Prius commercial in Japan.
Superman driving a Prius.
Yeah, Superman drives a Prius. Clark Kent drives a Prius. I've never seen this commercial. And I think after him is just we got. This is the guy who was casted. Oh no. This is a fan film. Justice League Mortal. This is a fan film. Some fan films do a great job, man. Some fan
do.
The costume is great.
Sunset Bat does a good job on Batman.
Yeah. Okay, here is Henry Cavill. I like them. Yeah, like I said, these movies aren't great, but Martha, why'd you say her name?
Oh yeah, this era was for more like us adults and not aimed towards the kids.
Yeah. I like the first Shazam movie. I didn't like the second one, but this was.
I like Captain Marvel. I'm a big DC guy. I mean, if I am 60% DC, 40% Marvel.
I'm a good mix. It depends on the mood. But this is the last guy to play him on TV, right? I forgot his name.
Yep.
From he started on Supergirl, and then they got their own TV show, Superman and Lois. The thing is a shot. A lot of people like this dude.
Sons and everything. Yep, it was a great show.
Yeah, a lot of people like this guy, Superman. They said that he did it right. He did it right. I didn't get to watch. He got 2 kids in this. Spoilers.
Yeah, 2 sons, which is now in DC Comics.
Right? In current Superman's got 2 boys too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's and this just finished. This had like 3 or 4 seasons, and it just finished.
Yeah, Lois died of cancer. Spoiler alert.
Oh, come on, bro. Come on.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it, man.
Ending to the show, though.
Yeah, 20 actors that played Superman. You can check that video out on YouTube. You're watching the 757 Hustle Show. My name is George. We're hanging out with Angel. It is July 1st, 2025. Give a like and subscribe if you're here on the replay. Thank you for being here. Let us know in the comments you stop by. We won't hunt you down. You don't owe us money yet, so we're good. We're good.
No,
What's Phil says, one collection down. I like Cavalier Soups. I like Man of Steel. The only thing that bothered me was the amount of damage him and Zod did to Metropolis. Okay. Fable, I'm gonna stop everybody right there. I'm a big defender of this because I had to fight and argue and debate a lot of people about this exact thing. Okay? If you watch every version of Superman from the Justice League cartoon, from the Super Friends cartoon, from you know what? I'm not even going to talk. I'm just going to call him out right now. In Super Friends, he fights all over the time in the city, always causing damage. In the Justice League finale, where does he fight Darkseid? Darkseid invades the Earth and he fights Darkseid in the season finale. He fights Darkseid right in the middle of the street. In the comic books, where does he fight Doomsday? He fights Doomsday in the middle of Metropolis. Okay. Superman 2, where does he fight Zod in Superman 2? He fights him right there in the city, right? When he comes out, he goes, care to step outside? Heal before Zod. Where does that fight take place, right? In Man of Steel, every version of Superman, he's having a mate when there's an alien invasion. He's causing property damage in Metropolis. So I don't want to hear that that's not the real Superman. It's never happened before. I just gave you TV, comic books, movies, Broadway play. Jeffrey Darcy says double standard for Godzilla. Yeah, the G-Man gets to crush. If Godzilla's not destroying a city, then it ain't a Godzilla movie. That's all I got to say. But in every version,
love Godzilla, the king of monsters.
In every version, Superman caused damage. And God bless Man of Steel is the only time we can see what the real damage is. And that's what gave us the plot for Batman versus Superman was Bruce Wayne didn't make money off of all the damage, so he's going after him. But I just had to say that. And you could go back and you could fact check me on everything. Superman was fighting dinosaurs in the original Super Friends or in the original 1940 cartoon. He's fighting monster dinosaurs in the middle of Metropolis. But
I feel like the reason why is because Metropolis is kind of like, this is my home. This is my Krypton. And no one is going to take over it. And that's the way it is.
I feel Superman always tries to lead the villain away from the city. In the comics, he fled Metropolis so his fight with Doomsday wouldn't cost him. No, he didn't. He died in the middle of Metropolis. Well, that's because Doomsday was heading. Yeah, he died right in front of the Daily Planet. Right in front of the Daily Planet.
To find Superman. The Justice League tried to stop him. The Justice League couldn't do it. He was on his way to Metropolis because he kept seeing Superman. And the crazy thing is, Doomsday was created by the people in Krypton. He was created by the people in Krypton. So, of course, in his mind, he's like, he's the last Kryptonian. I have to kill him because I kill people. That's what I did in Krypton. I kill people.
But it is what it is. I'll defend that. And like when people started saying, he killed Zod. I'm like, yeah, okay, it's not a kid Superman movie. He killed Zod in the comic books and he killed Zod in part 2. You know what I'm saying? When they threw him down. So,
but you know what's crazy about Superman? I tell people about this. You have to think about Superman for a minute. With everything that's going on in the world, think about this for a second. Superman was created by 2 Jewish people in Cleveland. Superman was not born on planet Earth. He is not Bruce Wayne, Barry Allen, nothing. He's not an American. He was an alien. Became the biggest symbol, not just in the United States, around the world. And that's something to say about Superman. You know what I mean? And he is a phenomenal guy, phenomenal character, great supporting members of the family. And come on, he has crypto. I would kill to have crypto.
I love crypto.
I love crypto. I love crypto. I love crypto. I love crypto.
I don't know why. Even growing up, the old Superboy cartoon from the 1960s had crypto, and I loved it. I look at my dog. Crypto. I'm like, do something. But like you said with the cape, I put a red towel on my dog. I push it off the couch in the bed. I'm like, fly, do something.
But it's crazy that I like about the Superman comics. Each character they show development. I mean, when Lois and Clark lived together and he had to take in Crypto, Lois wasn't a big fan of Crypto. She hated Crypto.
Correct. Yes.
And one day, Crypto had to defend Lois. And unfortunately, he went right for the jug of the monster. And Superman punished Crypto. He's like, bad dog. But Lois is like, he saved my life. He said, why are you punishing him for something that you taught him to do?
That's
And
one of the
after
first, one of the few times Superman uses his loud voice. He uses loud voices. He was like, whatever, stop, or whatever he said. I know exactly. That's the cover with Superman and Crypto on the cover. Right?
Yeah, and then Crypto growling on the cover of him. That is, if for everybody out there, if you really want to read a good Crypto story, pick that book up. It is the definition of, it is like the great moment of, you want to know he's a good dog? That right there set the standard of Crypto's a good dog. Unfortunately, Clark did not approve of what he had to do, but he's a dog. What do you want to do?
Doggies make mistakes. Doggies make mistakes. I'm going to tell you a joke my Cuban uncle told me, Uncle Chucho. Silver Age Superman was a lunatic. Yes. All Supermen are lunatics. So I don't know. I think this joke I think it fits in with current immigration status, what's going on in the United States. So Superman is flying around the world, right? He's like, he stops in Greece and Europe. I'm like, okay, everything's okay here. Flies around, stops over here. He's like, okay, everything's fine here. He stops. My uncle told me this joke. He stops in Cuba. He's in Little Havana. Dun, 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 dun. He stops in Havana shit. He looks around like, all right, yeah, things a little messed up, but everything's okay. So he said, let me get back home to Lois. So I was like, up and away. And he tries to take off. Tries to take off. He's like, man, I can't. What's wrong? He turns around. He's got 20 Cubans holding onto his cape going, dale, Superman, dale, tú puedes, you can do it. So, unappropriate joke there from my Uncle Chucho.
So get back to Cuba.
That's how we got to Cuba. You're watching the 757 Hustle Show. My name is George. We're doing some Superman stuff, getting ready for the Superman movie. I'm hanging out here, my man Angel. I'm about to hook this up. I'm at the last part of the segment. So, hold on. We're professional here at the studio. Let me see if I can do this. How would I had it? I had it like this. I had it like that. Let's see if I can get this going. All right. You a toy guy? You collect toys?
Are you serious? Okay, ready?
Uh-oh. Let me put you back on. Whoops, wrong one.
One of my favorite Transformers of all time.
Is that Grimlock?
Masterpiece Grimlock.
Nice.
So I have it all. I collect the toys, comics, artworks. I am a big geek.
Nice.
Geek. My girlfriend said this best. Says it's funny that we're talking about Superman. So I dated my girlfriend throughout high school. And she knows I'm a big nerd. And one day she looks at me as I'm reading our straight paperback. And she goes, you know something? She goes, what? You're Mr. Baseball player, football player, athletic guy. Goes, your persona is Superman, but your real secret identity is Clark Kent because you want nobody in high school to know you were a comic book fan.
It's cool to be it's I think you get more tail now for being a nerd now.
Comic fan, yep.
Because people back then, most girls, okay, you have girls that know sports.
It was a no-no.
And most girls would tolerate sports over nerd stuff, but now girls would rather tolerate nerd stuff than sports stuff because they know it. So I'm just gonna go through some stuff real quick. I'm gonna go through some stuff real quick I picked up. So this is my I like this Superman. This is McFarlane.
Oh, I can't find it in my local Walmart, Target, anywhere. Is that the one you got with Crypto too?
No. This was the Action Comics one.
Okay.
Yeah. This one came out 2 years ago. This is the Action Comic. It looks the same. It's the same mold and everything. but this is the Action Comics one. I got this guy used. I'm missing a fist, and the stands are all loose. I like that McFarlane gives you stands for them to pose.
Yeah, just so do I.
But
because McFarlane did two. He did one Superman that's regular, and then he has another one that has him and Crypto. And I'm on the hunt for him and Crypto.
yes,
But
yes.
I can't find it.
While we were at Joe Fest, my cousin kept looking for the Christopher Reeve. The Christopher Reeve.
Oh,
Yeah.
man, I'm just trying to suck it. You know how many shows that I've been to that I still can't find? I can't track that one down.
Yeah.
It's like a holy grail.
And this is the McFarlane from the animated
Bitch.
series, right? Yeah. Superman the animated series from Justice League line. McFarlane did those two. Close them up. They look nice, those animated series one, but look at those skinny little legs, man. I cannot stand
I know.
They won't.
He made it look like puppets.
He won't. Yeah, he won't stand up with those skinny little spaghetti legs. So I put him on the thing. Let me see if I can get Superman.
He skipped leg day.
Yeah. somebody put Krypton. Somebody put kryptonite in his pants. Look at his little legs.
That's Lois. We like, ain't no ever gonna look at you and slip it in his pants.
Yeah. Well, there's Superman right there, floating right there. Head down like this, looking at the camera, posing. Yeah, so I dig these. I like the McFarlane 6 inches ones. I didn't collect the one that was before McFarlane, DC Universe. I missed that line, so I'm a McFarlane guy. So of course you got a good guy, Superman. You got to have Superman's main enemy. Look at that, Lex Luthor right there in the power suit. How do you like the guy that's playing Lex Luthor?
I love it. You know. That's the same actor that played Beast, right? From X-Men.
Yeah. My man played Beast. My man played Beast. My man played. He's also in whatchamacallit, Nosferatu.
Mm-hmm.
He was also in that movie with Nicolas Cage. I forgot the name, where Nicolas Cage plays Dracula. That's a great movie.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I know what you're talking about too.
Yeah. So these are basically like modern figures. So these are like a 6-inch, 7-inch scale. They're from Todd McFarlane. That's Superman based off the animated series. That's
I have
Superman
the
based off
Vigo
the action
one.
comic.
I have the Amigos.
So
let
me put that first. Yeah, I used to have the 12-inch Mego Superman and also.
Yep.
So let me get rid of these. All right, we're going to take a trip to time right now. We're going to take a quick trip to time. So I told you the story about when we were in Colombia, right?
Yeah.
And my grandmother, in 1983, look at this little guy right here.
Teeny tiny.
Yeah, look at that guy. He's got half his face is melted off. Yeah, man. This guy's Colombian. Hey, yo soy Superman de Bogotá, Colombia. Yeah. So, but I got this guy in 1983 before the Kenner Superpower lines came out. This is my original Superman.
The Super Friends.
Yeah, from the Kenner Superpowers line. That's my original Superman right there. So, like I said, man, this dude predates that dude right there, bro.
All right, you ready?
Hold on. Let me put you up. Hold on. What you got, brother?
That's what I'm telling you. I'm a nerd. Ready? The original Amigo. Spider-Man
with the red hands. Yep, I got him. I got Spidey.
The original Amigo Superman.
Yep. Oh, you got the boots too. Nice. My mom used to stitch them up for me whenever the cloths used to get busted. My mom used to stitch up the guys for me. I love those Migo guys.
Yeah, I do too. Those are my like brains. But I have them there, yeah.
So we had a Lex Luthor. So I got the original 1984 Lex Luthor also. Look, gonna have a Lex Luthor there. Also from the same line, Darkseid.
Oh.
I found this Darkseid at a local thrift store around here called Vintage Trixie. There's a video on my channel. real cool. I found this Dark Side. I couldn't believe it. I found that Dark Side. So also from 1984, I don't know. These were from either somebody. Let me know in the comments. It was either Burger King, Burger King, or McDonald's. I think it was Burger King.
Burger King. Burger King. I had those with the cups. I had those.
These guys with little cup holders, right?
Yep. Burger King. Those are the Burger King.
Yeah, these put them back here. All right. And then in the 90s, Toy Biz took over the line, and Toy Biz started making almost the same. They almost look like the original one from the 80s, but they didn't have action movements. Those 81s, you would squeeze their legs, you would squeeze their arms, and they would move around. Yeah. But the ones in the 90s that Toy Biz did, they didn't do it. I don't have a cape. I found this cape. I threw this cape on this Superman. So this guy came out in the 90s. This guy partied hard downtown Manhattan. That's why he's all weird looking. He used to go to a lot of raves. I'm just gonna put him back here because he's gonna fall down. He used to go to a lot of raves back in the day. That's why he looks all ecstasy was happening. There you go. That's Toy Biz 90s Superman. Also in the 90s, before the Justice League, I think it was Kenner that made the Man of Steel line. And I don't have any of the Supermans, but I got a Superboy from that line. Yeah, he's pretty big. But this was 90s, right? This was when Death.
This is around right out his the Return of Superman number 500.
Right. Also, if you're not into comics and you're into the animation, definitely check out the animated movie Death of Superman. It's pretty cool, and it does show Superboy in it and stuff. So now for you 90s kids, I'm pretty sure this is what your Superman looks like for you 90s kids. Got the animated looking one right there, the smaller version, like the big one right there. And I never had a Lois Lane figure, so I'll throw in Ripley from Aliens. She could fit in as our Lois Lane for now. just to fill in for the show today, we have Sigourney Weaver filling in as a Lois Lane, only here on the 757 Hustle Show. All right,
an alien hanging out with an alien.
Yeah, and these are modern, and this is a modern villain. This is a modern figure. It's supposed to look like the '80s one from McFarlane. This is classic Brainiac right there. A man wearing the short.
I like that Brainiac.
You don't mess around with a robot that wears Daisy Dukes like that. You don't.
Nah, that's some days in the spandex shorts.
And then he redid another Dark Side. Look at this Dark Side boy. That's like modern New 52 looking.
And it's bigger than the other than the Kenner one in the back.
Yeah. I am Dark Side. Remember the old Superman's voice?
Yeah. I love that episode in the animated when Darkseid came and he kills Turnper, the cop.
Yeah.
And that was actually dedicated to Jack Kirby because Jack Kirby passed that year. And at the end, Superman says, "So long, old friend." And at the end, you see, "Rest in peace, Jack Kirby."
And they made the cop look like Jack Kirby.
Yep.
Yeah. But this is my first soups right here. Actually, my second one. Let's see if it still works. Whoop. This guy saved a lot of universes in my time. So,
do you have the outer space shuttle Superman?
No. Oh yes, I have 2 vehicles I'm about to show right now, and I'm done. So yeah, that's basically. I have I had that Spider-Man you show me, the Mego one, and the Superman. Mm-hmm. I also have the 12-inch Christopher Reeve Superman, but it's broken in pieces in my closet. I gotta bust them out and fix them. So, all right, check this out. Let's do Lex Luthor first. Lex Luthor's little. Here's Lex Luthor's ship from the 80s. You're watching 757 Hustle Show. Got them toys. Getting ready for Superman. Checking out some Superman figures. Kenner's superpower from the 80s. Let me bring this back. There you go. Lex Luthor. The only Lex Luthor I didn't like I said before, is Jesse. I forgot his name. Facebook kid. The kid from Zombieland. But there you go. That's Lex Luthor. Nice toys, bro. Yeah, man. I had him since I was a kid.
You know, it looks like, remember that, God, what was that one? It's called Power Masters, that you take the planes and you hold them and you put them to the TV and you shoot them. That's what the design looks like to me.
Captain Power.
Yes, Captain Power. Yes. That's what the shit reminds me of. Because I had that when I was a kid.
Yeah, I'm gonna be doing that soon. The Captain Power stuff. I have those figures too. Yeah, but put this on full screen. So that's I never had the ship, the little Lex Luthor jet when I was a kid. You couldn't have everything. It's crazy. I'm trying to remember. I'm like, I don't remember asking my mom for stuff. I just remember getting it, when you're really young and stuff. So I don't know. Was my mom paying attention to what I was watching or what I was doing? I hope so.
Well, it's kind of crazy. It's like how us parents know what our kids like, and we used to get it to them for Christmas. I think that's the same way. I think our parents paid attention to what our TV shows were, and we watched them, and they just got them
in November, right? In November, and then they would buy the shit in December. So, and for the last one, here you go from the Canon Superpowers. I got the little super.
Oh, I love that thing. I love Superman shit. I love that.
Pose him. Let me pose him with it. Oh, let me go. So what I'm posing him on is this diorama. During COVID, when my dad was around, and my mom and dad, they needed extra cash. They were stuck at home. Everything was shut down. My mom and dad started making dioramas, and we started selling them. So,
hell yeah.
There you go. There's Superman with his Supermobile. I think this was called.
Yeah, Supermobile.
Look at that. There you go. Who's ready for Superman? Who's ready?
Did you know McFarlane did the Invisible Plane?
Yeah. I need some of those. Jeffrey Darcy, I still collect my toys, especially Marvel, DC. Oh, Razor Comics, we're playing with toys. Sick invite, bro. Superman, True Justice, and the Illegal Alien Way. Yeah,
I told you.
Even Superman got married for his papers. Even Superman had to get married. He got married in the comic book. Yeah, bro. Everybody's got to follow the rules, man. Everybody's got to follow the rules. Even Superman was like, hey, Lois. Superman was like, Lois, look, I'll give you $5,000 up front and then $5,000 after the divorce.
Nah, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what tells I saved your ass? You owe me, Lois.
Yeah. Well, now Superman's knocking her up so he can stay in the country. That's crazy. Well, there you have it, folks. This is the official beginning for Countdown to the Superman movie on the 757 Hustle Show. Hanging out with Angel today. This wasn't planned at all, so I don't want nobody out there getting jealous. This was
I went on the last minute thing.
Yeah. I was supposed to invite some other people, which I got so busy bullshitting with Angel, I forgot to send the invite to others. So there's some McFarlanes, some Kenners.
Hold on, I'm gonna step out.
I'm gonna set these up one last time. Once again, rest in peace to Jim Shooter. You can rewind, catches of the replay. I did a Jim Shooter. Let me see what this Lex Luthor thinks. Hold on. Don't fall. I don't want nothing to fall down. Let's put. There you go. With Daddy. And then I put this guy here.
And of course, I have my Lex Luthor, Gene Hackman.
Oh, hold on. I'll put you up in a second. Hold on. I'm about to have a domino. Hold on. I'm going to get you up right now. Show me, my man. Oh, that is nice. Does the wig come off?
Yep.
Hell yeah, brother. That's
I
awesome.
love this thing. This is the only time they ever made a Gene Hackman Lex Luthor. That's it. It was one time.
He's like Otisburg. Otisburg. You know
He's
what's
so
great about
fucking-
that scene? What's great about that scene is in Superman, for those who don't know, Lex Luthor's finally there. Superman's there. Lex Luthor is revealing his master plan. You know, he's about to show off to Superman how badass he is, and then he sees Otisburg written on the map. And my man loses his
I
shit.
remember that. Otisburg.
He's like,
Walk up to
Otisburg.
the line, take it off. Take it off.
Yeah, right in front of
He's like, take it off. Take it
Superman.
off. And he goes, right away, Mr. Luthor.
Yeah.
Right away, Mr. Luthor.
He fucking loses his shit right there in front of Superman. That had to be one of the best scenes ever, man. God bless
It was
Gene
a great
Hackman.
moment.
Every time I see Gene Hackman, I smell like cigarette smoke. My man's always smoking.
I know.
But definitely, okay, let me get Brainiac there. Yeah, man. So check it out, man. Superman. There you go. That's my personal collection of Superman and the Boys here on the 757 Hustle Show. Wow. Jesse Eisenberg, best Lex Luthor ever. Razor Comics, King of the Trolls, baby. King of the Trolls.
No, Gene Hackman is the best.
Lois was a mail order bride from Eastern Europe.
Oh, shit.
There's a Superman movie coming out. Yep, there it is. Well,
Oh,
hey,
is it coming out in exactly, 10 days from now?
Yeah. Is it? Yeah, 10 days. I'm so excited.
Well, what I like about this thing is that Marvel and DC fans are embracing this month because this month is called Super Fantastic.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
looking forward to-
Hey,
July's
tomorrow.
gonna be a great time for comic book fans everywhere.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
for new comic fans.
So make sure you hit the like, subscribe button because I'm going to be doing a lot of Fantastic Four and a lot of Superman content coming up. So you don't want to miss out. Yeah, we got toys, we got comics, we're doing reactions. That's how we roll on the 757 Hustle Show. Hey, my name is George. I want to thank Angel for hanging out with us. Everybody who was in the comments today, thank you for being with me. We're going live again tomorrow at 6 p.m. So check out for the notification. Everybody be safe out there. I know it's still kind of warm. And I know things are still crazy. Jeffrey Darcy, thank you for staying out. Razor Comics, thank you for stopping by. Fantastic Four is going to smash Superman. Razor, you just missed the whole joke. It's Fantastic Four is going to clobber Superman. You just missed the whole setup. Angel, I want to thank you for being here and bullshitting, even though you had 3 teeth pulled. My man came on.
But that's how much I'm dedicated to this hobby that I'm willing to be like, fuck the pain. Let's do this.
That's what I'm talking about, man. So, hey, Pierre Kelly, thank you for stopping by. Legion of Comics, thank you for stopping by. Fable Station, check them out. Check all those guys out. Look them up on YouTube. Good people doing good stuff. Everybody having a good time. My name is George. This is Angel, and we are out. Peace.
Peace.
3, 2, 1. The stream.